what would be the cost of living?
For a family, the starting point would be, I would say, $600 to 1,000.
Since you mentioned the locals, how do they receive the expat? Like, is it, I know sometimes when they feel like there's a lot of expats taking over,
it's kind of some pushback.
I would say there's been different reception about that depending on the area as well. But one thing about Filipinos is that hospitality is really big in our culture.
What is it like there? A typical school day? Just like if you could go down like...
Well, school normally starts around 7:30 or 8 a.m.
But
like
yeah,
we have
seasons
summer,
do you guys
winter,
have?
spring, and fall here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we know what to expect. We know the weather is going to be cold. We know it's going to be hot. We know what to expect kind of throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
What does your year look like?
It's basically hot, hotter, and rainy.
We are off on the weekends. Like, what are we doing? What does our weekend look like?
Well, the Philippines is really big on mall culture, which is great because...
So actually, how long have you been in the Philippines? Like, how long have you lived there?
Pretty much my entire life, actually. So, I mean, a common interest that you guys and I have are traveling, but to be honest, I have never actually lived outside of my home country, never even lived outside of my hometown for more than 2 years. That was my maximum. So, yeah, I think I'm a good candidate to talk about, what it's like living in the Philippines.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow. So
I'll start.
Yeah,
so
you go
what
ahead.
are like 3 locations that most expat families, when they go to explore the Philippines or even think about moving to the Philippines, that they go to?
Well, at the top of my head, if we're talking about expats and actually moving, I would say Manila, but particularly cities called Makati and BGC or Taguig City. There's also Cebu, which I believe a lot of foreigners might be familiar with. And there's also Clark, Pampanga, and just recently an island called Siargao has been, one of the top, I would say, destinations for not only travelers, but also expats or travelers turned expats.
Wow. And so do you get to see a lot of expats like coming and visiting and living there as well?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Especially, as I mentioned, Makati and Taguig City, particularly BGC is what we call it. I used to work there, and I still visit there from time to time. So you would see a lot of expats. Well, I would say the expats that I get to see there, or tourists, are pretty diverse.
And for us, like we like more of the city life, but kind of exploring like the beach, but somewhere calm, like in a mix in the middle. Mm-hmm. So what would be the best location for our family, do you think?
Ooh, well, in that case, I think Cebu would be the perfect fit for you because Cebu, it is, right now, it's very developed. It's actually the first city. Philippines was discovered from Cebu. So it's right now, it's a thriving business hub, but at the same time, they have the best beaches. I've been there and I could definitely say they're one of the best islands in the Philippines. So it's definitely a good balance of both, having access to nature, but having that, accessibility to more developed areas and, just city life. So it's a great balance. A lot of people move there, not only foreigners, but also locals.
Really? So wait, hold on. So you said beaches, and from what I understand, like doing research, the Philippines has a ton of beaches. How many beaches? I shouldn't say how many beaches, but there are like how many islands in the Philippines itself?
There's about 7,107.
See, it's crazy.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
I know. It even changes depending on the tide, if it's high tide or low tide. Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers when it comes to high and low tides.
I
know. Jason's trying to throw questions.
I know. My
bad.
Right so we have our phones right now.
I know, but
the questions are on our phone, but I had to throw that in because I did research. I was like, no, they got a lot of islands though. So that is insane.
Trying to catch you off guard, like.
This feels like a pop quiz, Jade.
I know.
pop quiz for you. No, so I'm just joking.
Back to my questions.
I know, right? Yeah.
So as far as like public transportation, as far as public transportation and stuff like that, is it easy to get around for, if we don't have a car when we're there? Is it going to be easy for us to get around, Ubers and stuff like that, or is it kind of difficult?
When it comes to that, it depends really on the area. So if we're talking about the city life, as I've mentioned, those would be Makati, Taguig, Cebu. We have actually Grab. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Grab. We used to have Uber, but
Okay.
I don't know what happened. So we do have something like that. We even have motorcycle taxis that you can rent out, just like probably you've seen it in Thailand. I've seen your vlog. I know you've been there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, on the unfortunate side, because the Philippines still is a developing country, transportation isn't really our strong point. So if you've been to other countries, even in comparison to our Southeast Asian neighbors, our train system and bus system isn't as developed. So that's kind of just to set expectations for people who are wanting to visit or move here. But definitely we have Grab, and we have jeepneys as well. And that is available in both provinces and the cities as well. So we have that. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. And we have our own tuk-tuk, which we call a tricycle.
That's crazy. Does it look like a tuk-tuk?
Quite similar. The difference is that the compartment where where the passengers would normally sit, it's like on the right side of the driver, and it's driven by they use a motorcycle for it. So there's a motorcycle, and there's basically like a little compartment at the side.
Oh, fun.
It does take a while to get used to, especially if you're new here. So there's a learning curve, to be honest.
Gotcha. So is it I guess, is it hard for me if like I wanted to come there and either buy a car or you suggest a motorcycle? Is it like, how's the driving? Is it kind of crazy? Like, because we were in Thailand and I was like, oh, pump the brakes. Like, I don't ever think that I could drive here because it was so crazy. So is it similar to that or no?
Well, actually, yeah, that really depends on the area as well. But in comparison to Thailand, we have stricter rules when it comes to like motorcycles. For example, if you're gonna be if you're renting one as a passenger, then it's mandatory to wear a helmet and observe, proper etiquette as well. Like try not to move around, things like that. Just also for the safety of the driver and yourself. But yeah, if you are curious about let's say if you wanted to rent your own car and move around the city, yeah, expect a little bit of traffic jam. That's also one thing that a lot of people experience from time to time. Wherever you go, there will always be reckless drivers. I would say, I'm not sure if reckless is the right word, but not everyone follows through with the rules.
It's the same here.
Imagine.
It's the same
thing
here.
here.
So,
Absolutely.
it's the same. So I guess a question I would have is, we do have two boys, and so we're looking for a place that's going to have schools. And like I said, it's going to kind of be more developed as far as the location, easy, a lot grocery stores and things like that. What would be the cost of living? Like, I know you said Cebu, right? Mm-hmm. And what would be the cost of living there?
Well, like a ballpark.
A ballpark. Not, I know you can't tell us exactly, but kind of like a rough estimate. Oh, I'm giving you math too now.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I feel like I'm back in high school, you guys. So when it comes to like housing, I would say like for a family, the starting point would be about I would say $600 US to $1,000 per month. That would be, and again, that depends on the area. But since you mentioned, if you're with your kids in Cebu, maybe if it's areas like Cebu or Manila, then it will range around that. And that would be for like a typical 2 bedroom or 1 bedroom condominium. Again, that also depends what kind of building that would be. So there's different options actually. That's the good thing about cities in the Philippines is you get options. But of course, you get what you pay for, right? It's always relative
Yeah.
to the price of the housing. So but I would say that would be a just a ballpark amount. And for groceries for a family, it's not as it's no longer as cheap as Westerners would expect. But I guess again, relative to what you're used to, let's say for you guys in the U.S., it's still a lot more manageable. But I would say per week it would be about you could go by 100 to 200 US dollars per week for a family of 4. But again, that depends on your lifestyle, your needs. But yeah, that would already go far for a family.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So you're saying like in Cebu, so Cebu, it's Cebu. I had it right? Is that right?
Yeah,
I think it's Cebu. That's what you said, right? Just making sure I got it right.
Well, yeah. I would mostly be leaning towards Cebu or Makati area. They're both cities.
Makati.
Cebu
There we
is just closer to beaches as well. That's the difference between the two. But they're both
Okay.
they're both thriving in terms of like urban development at the moment.
Ah, okay. So, and that would be roughly around that ballpark price range. Was it like a 1 to 2 bedroom condominium, or would it be like a 3 bedroom, do you think? Or just what about like the size?
It would normally be a 2 bedroom condominium for that amount as well. Well, you could
Okay.
expect it to be a
Gotcha.
little higher than 1,000 US dollars per month if you're aiming to if you're aiming for like a 3 bedroom apartment, which is also not very common when it comes to condominiums. Yes,
Oh,
in that
wow.
case, you can consider renting renting. Some houses are for rent as well. Go for rent.
Now, do you find that they are building a lot more like like some areas, when they see like a lot of expats or people are moving to those areas, they start building and developing more. Do you find that there, or is it kind of the same as it was before?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I notice. So whenever there's like an influx of expats moving to a particular city, so the city also accommodates to them in certain areas where there are, just for example, if there are a lot of Korean expats there, so a lot of the businesses also a lot of the businesses that are marketing towards Koreans also like open up, and that goes the same with different races as well. Yeah, and also of course when it comes to like rent and stuff, well, that's not something that easily you know gets developed, but it's something that goes along with you know more expats coming in.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
And I guess, well, how far, like since you mentioned the locals, how do they receive the expats? Like, is it, I know sometimes when they feel like there's a lot of expats taking over, they,
It's kind of some pushback.
yeah. So how
Yeah.
do they feel towards expats and stuff like that? And how friendly are they?
I would say there's been different reception about that depending on the area as well, but one thing about Filipinos is that hospitality is really big in our culture. So we're always, it's been engraved in our lives to always be welcoming when it comes to our neighbors, our community. But of course, there are also cases wherein if it's too much of everything is always not great. So that also applies if there's also too many,
Yeah.
if there's also too many tourists or expats coming in, that it affects their own lifestyle or their own livelihood, then that's where the opinions get controversial, I would say, as well. Especially when it comes to areas where it's more of like a provincial tourist spot. I would give you an example. For example, right now, Siargao is a really popular place for digital nomads, for tourists, and tourists turned expats. But on the flip side, it's great for tourism, but the locals are also, sort of getting am I saying my quotes right? Getting the short end of the stick.
Yes, you got it.
Yep, you sure
the
do.
short end of the stick.
With more tourists coming in, that also means higher expenses for locals. So those are the things that we have to be mindful about, when it comes to that. So I would say if you want to, stay here long term, I would say do your research as well when it comes to those areas and what the locals are like first. Maybe get to know what the locals think about that first. But there are, again, so many more cities that are much more welcoming to expats. So, it just really depends.
Gotcha.
But we always have to be, just like everyone else, we have to be equally mindful.
That makes sense. Well, since you mentioned getting to know your culture, tell us like two things that we should know before we visit, or any of us visit, that we should be mindful of, coming there.
Yeah.
Like, are there any customs or anything like that you're like, no,
Uh-huh.
like I
I was
know,
about
like
to
we
say-
went to Thailand and they were like, they didn't like putting your feet on the furniture. So stuff like that, or making sure you take your shoes off, before you enter certain businesses.
Oh yeah,
or
like even
locations.
with the temples itself too.
Yes,
it's
the
like
temples
the
and
temples you
stuff like
couldn't
that.
wear
Wear sleeveless.
or you had to be pants. For it had to be pants. It couldn't be skirts. And
So
such,
is there something that you're like, oh, you need to, when you come here, you need to know this, or don't do this?
I would say, like, compared to, as you mentioned, Thailand, I've been there before as well, just like you guys, and I did notice those cultural differences. But in the Philippines, we really don't have much of those wherein we're super particular with your behavior. I think it just all boils down to if what you're doing, if you're showing respect to the people around you, and if you're not, if you're just, as long as you're not being a nuisance.
like a nuisance. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Like, and hopefully that, people who are coming over there, they're being respectful and not causing like a bunch of chaos.
Yes, exactly.
'Cause that's hopefully not what we do.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna get into schools now. So school.
And,
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just about to say also, but then I would say, we also follow those things like taking your shoes off. Usually, if you're visiting someone else's house, I think the best thing to do is, if you're just unsure, it's okay to ask. It's okay to ask your Filipino friends, like, hey, is this okay to do? If you're not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to get into schools, and I'm really curious about schools
Yes.
because, again, we do have two boys, and I know, doing research, trying to figure out if we would to put them in the local public school there, or do we have to put them into a private school? And you actually went through school there, so you're kind of an expert at this. So what is it like schooling there, and do we have to go the private school route, and are there a lot of private schools there?
So you're right, we do have public schools, we have private schools, and then we have international schools. And when I say international schools, these are the accredited schools that follow like the Western curriculum. So like I would say advanced placement,
Okay.
or Cambridge curriculum. So similar things like that. And when it comes to families that are thinking of, where would they enroll their kids for school, we have actually a lot of, there are actually a lot of private schools. I actually came from a private school that had a good number of international students as well. So
Oh, cool.
they're pretty open to accepting foreign students, because if you're considering international schools, they can get pretty expensive. So private schooling would be sort of the best option for average families.
So what in a private school, the language that's spoken is English, or what? Like, will they be okay? I guess with
Yeah.
that part.
English is pretty much our secondary language as well. So when it comes to subjects, yeah, a lot of teachers actually teach their subjects in English, just like similar to
Okay.
to how my school actually does it. So everything is taught in English: math, science,
Oh, wow.
English, of course, history, except for Filipino. And actually, when it comes to the international students in my school, they have a different curriculum that they follow. They still have the Filipino subject. Again, this is for private school, so
Oh, cool.
but they have different books for the international students when it comes to Filipino and Filipino history. So basically, if private schools are amenable to adjust to the foreign student,
Okay.
because private schools also follow, like, I would say, a higher standard of education. So English would not be a problem when it comes to foreign students.
Cool. And I guess I can ask you this question because you said firsthand you had a lot of students who were in your school who were international students. And so how did they feel? Like, not how did they feel, or I guess how was it an easy process or transition for them? Or did you feel like you could see like, oh, they're kind of lost?
I've seen different situations. I've had a classmate wherein she really just was, everything was new to her. Like, she didn't even have, at the time she didn't have really good command with English. So it was hard. So the adjustment was a lot harder for her. But then there are also other students wherein they've had a moment to kind of, adjust to the culture, to the environment, to the language. So it was a lot easier for them. At least speaking from my school's experience, a lot of the students there actually enjoyed being there, and they stayed, even they still stayed friends with the people that we went to school with.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
so cool.
That is good to
That's
know.
that's really good to know.
So-
And is it diverse or is it kind of?
Okay.
In my school, exactly, there were just mostly it was still dominantly Filipino students, but there were a mix of Western students, mostly East Asian students as well, and there were students from India. But I would say it would be more. There are also I've seen other schools that have
Okay.
a more diverse set of students compared to where I went.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And then I guess I have to ask a question that my kids would want to know because
Yeah.
like they here we go to school, like they start at 8 o'clock at their school. They're done at 2:45. They have a 30-minute lunch break. We get certain holidays off, spring break, we just have a week off. Christmas, we'll have 2 weeks off. Thanksgiving, we'll have a week off. So what do you see, like, what is it like there? A typical school day? Just like if you could go down like, oh, because I know we were speaking to someone in Portugal and she was telling us they get a lunch break for like, what, 2 hours?
Oh yeah, it's like almost like 2.5 hours.
And I was like, wait, what?
Like, what?
So are there any things that are different, being in school there? Do you guys go home for lunch? What is it like?
Well, your kids are I would assume are in elementary school, with or are they in high school already?
So we have one who's in 5th grade. He's in elementary. And then the other one is in high school. He's in 9th grade. Mm-hmm. So he'll be going to 10th grade next year. So what would it be like for him, kind of, or?
Well, school normally starts around 7:30 or 8 a.m. I'm not sure if there's any major changes, but
Okay.
but that's normally where it starts, and then there's also, you get recess for 30 minutes in the morning, and then lunch break would normally be for an hour.
Okay.
Students don't really get to go home. I mean, it's not really enough time to go home unless you live nearby. but that's, yeah, they get a lunch break. And for elementary, I would say they get to go home around 3 p.m. But for high school students, that would normally be around 4 to 5 p.m.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a long day for them.
That's a long day.
Wait, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 p.m. And what are y'all doing in that? What are y'all doing? Like, what is going on?
Or four or five, just depending on. Well, there's, especially for high school, there's a lot of subjects that they go through. So,
Wow.
that, and so actually, we also had a little bit of a break in the afternoon. It could be 15 minutes to 30 minutes. But yeah, it's a long day for for high school students.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yes.
Like,
I was
wow.
not expecting to hear that.
But what's it like in the U.S. though? What time does?
So US, so here it's a little bit, so Chase goes to school, like I said, he goes at 8 and he's done by 2:45. Mm-hmm. So he has a 30-minute lunch break. Then they go to their math, science, all the normal classes, and then that's it for the day. They don't have recess in high school. Elementary and has recess for like 30 minutes. But yeah, they are done for the day. Most high school students after that, they'll come home, like Chase does soccer in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Some of the high school students are working in the afternoon, but yeah, that's it.
Man.
That's an adjustment. Ooh, I won't let Chase see this part of the video.
Oh, since you mentioned high school students working after classes, that's actually a difference that we have. High school students normally don't get to do part-time jobs here in the Philippines because ideally they should be focusing on school, and unless they really have to. So of course it depends on the family's financial situations. There are cases like that, but it's not really like it's not something that's common, because I know I've seen that on like obviously like Western TV shows and movies where 16, 15, as early as 14 maybe.
14?
Yep.
Yeah, some of them are working at 14. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't normally happen.
That's not common. Wow. Well, they can't because they're in school all day.
Oh, exactly.
So what about extra activities after school? Do you guys play sports and stuff like that, or no?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's also something that they get to enjoy. So of course that depends on the schools, whatever activities they offer or teams that they have or clubs they have. But
okay.
Yeah, that's something that we have here as well.
So that's included in your day then?
That takes another 30 minutes maximum to an hour maximum.
Okay. So what time did you get home from school? What time did you get home? I'm still stuck on this, like 5 o'clock. So when you got home,
I think I normally get home around 5:30 as well. I didn't have any clubs then, but but clubs actually
okay.
Also, that's normally we only have it like once. It's only like once a week thing, sometimes even a once a month thing. So it's not something that you get to do every single day.
Oh, okay.
Because you got homework to do as well when you get home.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Gotcha.
Good gravy. Okay, and what's the average cost of like a private school there?
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Like for clearly it would be elementary
High
and
school.
high school, but what would be on average the cost? And I know every school is different, but just a ballpark. Just curious.
I would say the starting um, price would the starting amount would be around 500 US dollars for the whole school year.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Depending on the school, it can go up to $1,000 as well per school year.
And again, just to make sure I'm clarifying correct for everybody who is listening, that is $1,000 for the entire school year, not per month.
Not per month. School year.
Cool. And then is lunch and everything included in that, or do you pay separate for lunch and or?
Well, some schools do that. Some schools have their own cafeteria wherein you basically go on like a subscription. But for most cases that I know of, there is a cafeteria, but each student actually has to buy their own food from there, or you can either pack your own lunch or your own snacks.
Okay.
But yeah, that's also another cultural difference that we have from the U.S. is we don't really. It's not really um, the cafeteria culture is not really that common. So it's really up to the individual.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well,
All right.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now I want to know, because we went over school, I want to know about climate. Now, and this is one thing that Carter, which is our youngest, is always thinking about what is the weather like, because
Yes,
he wants
what's
to
the
know,
worst that can happen
what's
to
the
me?
worst that can happen. Just the other day, which is so crazy if you guys are all watching, in Georgia on Saturday, we had a mini earthquake out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. We don't get earthquakes. It was crazy. We're like, wow, the house is shaking. That does not happen.
Yeah.
So we're just curious, like, in the Philippines, like, what is something that you guys look out for? And usually, like, what is like what is the
Like, what seasons do you have?
What
Like,
seasons?
we
I
have
lost my
summer,
train of
winter-
thought.
yeah.
It was completely gone. I was trying to get it back. But
Like
what
we have
seasons
summer,
do you guys
winter,
have?
spring, and fall
Yeah.
here. So we know what to expect. We know the weather is going to be cold. We know it's going to be hot. We know what to expect kind of throughout the year. What does your year look like?
Yeah. Just curious.
It's basically hot, hotter, and rainy. So those are three seasons.
Hot, and rainy. Oh gosh. Okay. What months are hot?
And then what are the hotter
hotter?
months?
And then when is it the rainy season?
Yeah.
Okay, so normally the best months, I'll start from there. The best months are around December to February because it's winter in other parts.
Okay.
So the weather's a little cooler around those times. But then it starts to get hot again from around mid-March to typically around until June. So that's where it gets hot.
Like hot like 90s or hot like 100?
I would say typical normal hot would be 29 to 31 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Let's see.
So Jason's going to figure that out.
Ooh, so that's like 84 degrees until like 31 degrees, about 80. So it's like 84 to about 87, maybe like 90
I can
degrees.
deal with that. I can deal with that. Okay.
But what is hotter?
Hotter is what?
This just happened like a few weeks ago, but the highest heat index that we've experienced was 49 to 51 degrees Celsius. Heat index.
Okay.
Whoa!
What is that?
123 degrees. What? Are you serious?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Girl. Wow. That is insane.
That is 120 to 123 degrees.
Girl.
That's like the sun.
Like y'all are touching the sun. Like that is hot.
Wow.
What are y'all doing during that time?
Well, that's a perfect time to, cool down. Maybe look for a nearby resort where they got pools and everything, or drive to the nearest beach. Of course, everyone's in at that time. Everyone's encouraged to stay hydrated. I know, but the thing is also, since we're on the since we're also on the topic of schools, um,
Girl.
I know it's crazy. So it's because the temperatures have only risen to that level, only like maybe for the for the past 2 years. Normally, we don't suspend classes for heat waves, but now we do because of that.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
I didn't see that
I
coming.
didn't. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, it gets to like 90, 100, here and there.
120.
120, like that's unheard of. Oh
Wow.
my gosh. I can imagine the sand is probably like hot.
That's the peak.
The peak.
Whoa. Okay, so when is the rainy season start then?
Typically, it should start around mid-June to um, around I would say around September, October is all. But just like everywhere else, like weather has been so
Okay.
unpredictable these days,
Wow.
Okay.
So, and also during rainy season, that's one thing to keep in mind. It does bring what Carter's kind of doesn't like to say, and it's the word that starts with the M, monsoons. It brings monsoons as well.
Yes, it does. Um, you'd hear about typhoons quite often when it comes to starting from those months. And classes do get suspended for typhoons as well, just depending on the severity that's expected on that area, on the particular area you're in. So, yeah, normally classes would get suspended and they'll announce it in advance.
So what is something we have to look out for, I guess, as far as the weather when we're there? Like when typhoons, do you have to go to a certain location? Like how does that work? Or do you just stay inside?
We do have evacuations if it's necessary in your area. I wouldn't say it's really a good thing, but the thing about typhoons, at least, is that, unlike earthquakes, at least in typhoons, we get to predict how badly it could hit and where it would hit. So people have, an idea of how much they have to prepare for it. So if in your area, if it's expected to, hit a little harder than others, then you'd be advised, of course, to to evacuate. And normally it would be in the government-owned spaces. So it's normally like a covered court that they have. Sometimes even malls offer their spaces as shelter for those who need to. Um, but typically, but that normally happens in neighborhoods that have uh, that are usually rural areas,
Oh.
Okay.
provincial areas. If you live near beaches or something like that, or just flood prone areas. But when it comes to more developed areas, like in the city, um, no, there's normally no need for that, but there is, you do have to watch out for flood, especially if you live in, low-rise buildings or a bungalow house, if that's the case. But if you live in in a condo, then that's one thing that you don't have to worry about.
Wow.
Gotcha.
So knowing that again, because the more prone areas, like you said, are the low-lying areas and then near beaches. So that's something you'll have to keep a lookout for, like Cebu, or I believe you said Macau, Macau or Mackay. Oh, sorry, I think it was Macau. You'll have to keep a mind out for that when rainy season comes in.
Actually, just to clarify, Makati is the city area, so there's usually a lot of condos there. So there's no need for that. But yeah, for example, Cebu, there is also a city part of Cebu, but then there's a lot of beaches in that island. So yeah, you have to be careful around that, because it's not only because of course with typhoon, that also comes with a little bit of strong waves. So, and flooding, of course.
Gotcha. All right. So I want to get into like maybe some fun facts that, just to throw at you. Here we worry about bugs we worry about like things like snakes and spiders, and in Georgia we have these flying, what are those things called? Palmetto bugs.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
what
gosh.
are things, what bugs do we need to look out for? Or what insects or things, what do y'all have?
Oh, the one thing you should look out for are mosquitoes, actually. So we have, yeah, especially during rainy season, because mosquitoes can carry dengue. I'm not sure if that's something you guys are familiar with.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that before.
I don't
In
even
Thailand,
know.
we heard of that.
Oh.
Oh yeah, so it's basically like a type of infection you get from, it's like a feverish.
How do you watch out for that?
There's a lot of like mosquito repellents that you can purchase in drugstores or just in department stores. They're usually like lotions or sprays. They also come sometimes in like little stickers because they give because it gives off that citronella
Okay.
scent. I think that's what drives the mosquitoes away.
So, like, as far as mosquitoes, do you guys spray for mosquitoes? Does the government come out and spray for mosquitoes or to help with those issues?
Yeah, from time to time, but that normally would be around
Okay.
on the developing areas, not necessarily for, of course, condominiums. That would be a little harder to complete, but
Okay, let's see another fun question I have.
Yes,
for you.
another fun question about the Philippines. Besides the fact that they have 7,000 beaches, don't forget about that.
Yes.
7,000. Yes.
Okay, what is the crime like there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This.
What
Oh, no,
is-
no, no, not the crime, but like, do you know what like the safety index is like on the scale? I think there's like 163 on
Yeah.
countries. Like where
We're
does it fall?
130 something. So
Yeah, the US is at-
136 or something like that.
We're
so.
just way at the bottom.
We're way at the bottom. Where are you guys at? Or how safe is it?
I'm not sure about the updated one, but I think we were in like 60 something around that.
Oh, you're still better than us.
You're still way better than us. You guys haven't even broke the 20s. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're at 130 something
Oh
over
my
here.
goodness,
We're rocking
this
it. We're
is
holding
crazy.
it down with the crime.
But in my experience in general,
Wow.
there are places where certain crimes are more, common, I would say. The one thing that I would say, if you are a foreigner that's coming to the Philippines, the one thing that you should look out for, of course, is like pickpocketing. That's the number one thing that you should be worried about, because you make yourself an easy target just by being a foreigner in the Philippines. And I guess that happens in other countries as well, even not only Asian countries, of course, but European countries.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Another question. Is it hard for a foreigner to buy property there, or do you mostly have to rent?
Oh, I believe foreigners are not allowed to own property here, but you can definitely rent or lease.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So the one question that I have.
Well, okay.
Oh no.
I have more questions.
Brizette had a lot of questions.
I love like this is like so much fun for
I
me.
know it is.
It is. I love
That's
it.
why I was like, I will let you just lead. Go
Yeah,
first.
I like doing this.
She
Okay,
loves
so
this.
we know you like to travel. So what is it like?
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
what is that like? What places have you been to, and how like for us to go from here to like, let's say Thailand, for a round trip for a family of 4, it was like what, $3,000?
It was a little bit more than
A
that.
little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So traveling for you guys, like, what is the cost usually for you to fly to Thailand from there, and how long does it take?
My recent trip to Thailand, my round trip flight was about a little under 180 US dollars.
Girl. Wow.
I know.
That sucks. That's good for you. It sucks for us.
Oh man.
Wow. And where else have you been?
Well, that's actually not the cheapest trip that I've been on, or that's not the cheapest flight that I've purchased. I've been to Taipei as well. I'm actually going back very
Okay.
soon, and the ticket for that is a little under 130 US dollars.
We can't get a flight from here to New York for that. And we
Yeah.
live here. Wow.
Wow.
Like for us, for a flight from here, a 2-hour flight is like $300
Yeah. Per person.
per person.
And
So,
sometimes that's one way.
yeah. Oh my goodness. That's insane.
I'd be getting business class for that amount.
Girl.
Really?
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Well, I mean, it's so different. Like again, it's so great speaking with you because you're on the other side of, or because right now, if I'm not mistaken, right now for you it is 11:31 p.m. Is that correct? Just
Yep.
making sure because it's 11:31 a.m. here. So you're 12 hours in front of us, and just on the other side of the earth, it's so much cheaper to get to like this place to this place. Whereas for us, even if we want to go an hour away, it's like $300
Yeah.
one way. You know, it's so
One
crazy.
way.
Yeah.
So that's insane. Oh my gosh. That sucks. I'm still stuck on like $130 to, travel. Like, wow. Are hotels there really, really fancy like they are in Thailand, or are they more kind of like, or are they just kind of all a mix?
It's definitely a mix. So we do have, your usual 5-star hotels, but then the 3-star hotels, 3 to 4 star hotels are also pretty good for the price. It's pretty good as well. So especially if you, and there's, I would say it's even better when you go to like more tropical areas such as the islands in Cebu, or the beaches in Cebu, sorry, and in Siargao as well. So yeah, I would say you sort of get a better deal out of what you pay for when it comes to accommodation, because they really step up their game when it comes to vacation accommodation.
Ah.
Wow. Okay.
And well, all right. So you did mention like what is like a ballpark price range? Just curious, like maybe like a 4-star and then a 5-star in Cebu. Just if you have a ballpark as far as what would be the rate in like US dollars per night. Just curious. I know we're putting you on the spot.
Oh no, it's absolutely fine. But I would say it would start from it would also start from, for a 5-star hotel, probably like $250 US a night. Again, that's like one of the some of the best hotels you can get, the best deals you can get.
Gotcha. And just to make sure I got the hair correct, because it froze out a little bit, was like you said like $200 something a night?
Yep, 250. That would be the starting, 200 to 250 US dollars per night.
Per
for a
night,
5-star
or?
hotel. Per night, yes.
Okay. So a little bit more pricier than Thailand.
Just a hair, but that is in a beach area.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little
So
beach
just a
area.
little bit more pricier. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so what's fun to do for us on the weekend? Like, we're not going to school until 5 o'clock at night. We are off on the weekends. Like, what are we doing? What is our weekend looking like?
Well, the Philippines is really big on mall culture, so which is great because again, it is really hot here. So being inside a mall and just having everything you need there is pretty much the ideal weekend for a lot of Filipino families. And whenever I go to like malls as well, I would also see foreign families enjoying their time at the mall. So it's perfect. There's there's many options, and I would say though the malls here are not as impressive as Thailand, but but you get the comfort that you need because you have everything there, and it's you have everything also depending on your budget.
Okay.
Sounds
So
good to
are
know.
there fun things in there for kids to do? Like, I know in Thailand they had like some kind of indoor like park
Like bounce
area,
house kinda,
bounce
yeah.
house area. Is there something like that similar there at the malls?
Oh yeah, for sure. So we have normally I would say every mall has an arcade, so they can play games. Sometimes there would be bowling alleys as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, There are also big malls that have an ice skating rink. So that's one thing that the kids can do.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. That's the closest we can get to winter.
Well, when it's 35 degrees, you need an ice skating rink. Yeah, it's like 135. I'm going to the ice skating rink.
Like we are
I'm
going
just going to lay on the ice.
I know.
It's like you'll find me on the ice. What other question do I have? Oh, do you guys have, I know here we have like amusement parks with roller coasters and rides. Do you guys have anything like that there?
Oh yeah, we also have, but I wouldn't say we have a lot of variety or options when it comes to that. So normally, I think in the entire Metro Manila, there's also only probably one or two that I know of that people grew up in. So we do not have any Disneyland yet, just like many Asian countries as well.
Okay.
We don't have Universal Studios yet. So
Okay. And one last question. For me, what was your like favorite school trip that you guys went on that something we wouldn't probably experience in the States, like here in the US?
I remember we went to a place called Intramuros. So it's a very historic, history-rich place. Um, it basically shows like a lot of the history that we've had with Spain. Not to get because again for reference, the Philippines was we were a colony of Spain. So you would also notice a lot of Spanish influences when it comes to our food, our language, even, and
Yeah, I heard that.
but that particular area, yeah, but that particular area showed more of what some of the actual infrastructure, and you get to learn about the history that the Philippines went through. So that was pretty interesting for me, and I would say it's also a good you know, it's also a good spot for tourists just to really learn more about our culture.
Cool.
Wow.
So speaking of if you are fluent in Spanish, is the language harder? Like, is it easier for you to learn then, or no?
Actually, my mom did try to learn Spanish, but there are still a lot of differences when it comes to like some of the grammatical rules and everything. So the words, it's easy to pick up. We do count in Spanish.
Oh.
We don't speak in Spanish. There's just certain words that we borrowed from yeah. So it's usually like word per word, but the structure of the language itself it's still pretty I would say pretty different.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
So is a language, because I know Thai is like, that's hard, you know?
Learning Thailand. Thai, yes.
So is it like how hard is it for me to learn the language there or to pick it up?
I think it depends on who you are, though.
Okay.
As far as like from feedback from other foreigners that I've heard, it's easy you can pick it up by just being immersed in it, but it's not a language that you learn that's easily learned from the books, because some languages you can easily pick up from like from reading, but it's a very I don't know, our language is and it's always developing too. We always have like different terminologies that come up, so it's easier to pick up if you immerse in it rather than trying to force yourself to learn it. And the good thing about living here is that a lot of people speak fluent English, so well, you don't really need to unless you really want to, of course.
Oh, cool. I mean, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. We're going to put this on a list of places we have to visit.
Yes, we have to visit. So
Yes.
my final question is like, as far as expats, of course we are African American. Like in your going around in your country and just like seeing different expats, do you see a lot like the diversity? Is it more from like the Southeast Asian corners, or are you just seeing races from everywhere that come into the Philippines and actually decide to stay inside the Philippines? Just curious.
My area, I usually like go around again Makati and Taguig, and it's pretty diverse. There's a lot of I see a lot of East Asians, other Southeast Asians, but then there's also a- foreigners from out of African descent as well. So we do see a lot of them, and as far as I know, they also stay here and have businesses here, or they have found themselves jobs in the city. So that's why they're able to live here as well. So it's pretty diverse. I wouldn't say there's, especially at the moment now, it's a lot more diverse than a few years ago.
And I guess that's one other thing that is crazy is that you keep saying that foreigners are able to get businesses there. Because I know a lot of places you visit or you think of going, they say, well, make sure you make your money online because it's hard to, have a business in a particular area. But it sounds like a lot of foreigners come over there and open up businesses there. Is that correct or no?
I would say there are also like challenges that come with opening a business, but it's it's definitely not impossible. But there's also I think that would be the case. Yeah, there are of course, as long as they follow through with the rules, and the permits that they need, then but I believe it's a little bit more of a different path than a local would have to take if they were to open up a business.
Okay, so we talked a lot about high school, but eventually they'll have to go to college. So what is college like for you guys?
That's a good question, because as far as I know, like in the US, isn't it optional to take college after high school, or?
Yeah, it's like, some people go to college, some people start working, some people just don't do anything. So, yeah.
Because actually here, like, it's pretty much like a set path for a lot of students to go to college after. Although not everyone finishes it, they at least take a few years of college. Because in order, sometimes like when you go to like job interviews as well, they don't really require diplomas, but they do require at least like 2 years in college. So that's sort of like, I guess that was that's a cultural difference that we have in terms of like going to college as well.
Wow.
And is college like free or is it expensive? Like here we pay for everything. So we pay for college, even like our community colleges and stuff like that. We still have to pay for.
Yeah.
Or in-state,
Well, yes, we do have state universities. So, but of course, when it comes to that, you have to at least reach like a certain like grade or certain scores in order to be admitted into those universities. But then we do have private universities as well, which are a little. Of course, it does cost a lot, a bit, but I would say it especially for Western expats, it might be more accessible for them financially. So we have private universities, and I've seen a lot of foreign students actually finish their studies in these private universities.
Ah.
That's what I was gonna say. I know that like I had a friend, she was going to school to be, I can't remember what it was, but she did go like out of the country to finish up. Like I know a lot of doctors will do that as well. They'll go to different countries to finish up because it's a lot more affordable there than it is here.
Wow.
In the States.
Oh.
So
look there, I'm learning so much over here.
Oh my gosh.
So much.
And the education, like, so how many years, is it still 4 years there like it is here, or? Because, y'all go to school until 5 o'clock at night. I just need to know.
Oh my God. You never
I'm still stuck on that 5 o'clock.
But when it comes to college, of course, the schedule isn't the same. It doesn't follow the same schedule anymore as high school. That depends on which classes you have to take, the units you have, of course, the course that you take. But, sorry, what was the question?
That's okay.
No, I was saying, so is it still 4 years like here in the States, or is it to get your bachelor's degree?
Oh, yes. So college is normally still 4 years. There are a few courses that you can finish in 2 years, but for a bachelor's degree, it's 4 years as well.
4 years.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right.
Cool. Oh, and one other, do a lot of expats come over there to be teachers? Is that like more in the more common jobs to speak to teach English, or?
Oh no, not really, because again, unlike our Asian neighbors, the Philippines have pretty much a good fluency rate when it comes to English, so we don't need to import foreign teachers to be able to teach English,
Okay.
because that already that actually, oh, that's one thing I'd like to mention. Learning English starts at home here, so obviously some people. Not everyone is entirely fluent, because it's just a second language for us. It's not our mother tongue, of course. But again, in comparison to other Asian countries, we do learn it at home, and and throughout the academic life as well. Subjects are taught in English, so.
Well, that's
Good to
pretty
know.
cool.
That is really good to know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess can't go there and teach English.
You can't do that.
No, I can't do that.
Sorry.
Okay, well. Well, that was cool. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Anything else on
Oh,
school?
can I add one more thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
no, go.
course. Add as much as you want.
No, well, in fact, it's actually the other way around. A lot of countries hire Filipino teachers to teach English in their country. So there's a lot of Filipino English teachers that travel to Thailand. That's one good example. Japan, as well, and I think even sometimes I believe some European countries also hire Filipinos to teach them English.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow.
Just go. So good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks for that. Because, wow. Most of the times we think that, we can go over there and, teach English or do something like that. But you don't need us. We actually need you guys to teach us that. So
Don't forget, we're 136 on
yeah,
the
and we're
safety.
136 on the safety. So,
Man.
Have you ever been to the U.S. though?
Oh no, not yet. That's one thing I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Very
She's
soon.
like, why would I want to come there? It's 136.
No, I'd like to come visit you guys, of course.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, come on over.
Oh
We
my
got a
God,
place
that
to
would be
stay.
great.
Yes.
And you can help me with the desk space, because it's still a mess. It
Yeah.
really is. It's still a mess.
That is so crazy. Yeah, we'll take you around to all the, it's not as beautiful as there. Like so what do you guys think of people in the U.S.? Like, really? What do y'all think of us?
Oh, we're pretty much exposed to like
You could be honest.
no, but because American media is everywhere. It's pretty much what a lot of us consume. Even before, like, the social media before social media and everything. Like, I grew up watching Disney, so we're familiar, and we've adapted a lot of American culture as well. So it's not something that's entirely unfamiliar to us.
Okay, well, I'm excited. This is so cool.
Yes.
I'm so glad I just got to meet you and, just have this talk because, there's so many like questions I always have, like, okay, what is life like? What is life really like there? Like, what do they do different than we do? So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what holidays do y'all get off, like, for school?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We have summer break, so that's the longest one. But then we also have, I would say the longest one as well would be Christmas break, because Christmas is like everything to us. It's the holiday we look forward to the most.
So how long do y'all celebrate it for? Like, the whole month?
It's kind of like an inside joke with the Philippines that we love Christmas so much. As soon as September hits, like, the malls get decorated with Christmas ornaments and everything. But
Okay.
but normally we start celebrating it. The Christmas break starts around, yeah, Christmas break starts around a week before Christmas, and then it goes on until New Year. So it's like a continuous celebration for everyone. So no one needs to like go back to school in the middle of all that and then go back. So
So do y'all get time off like in November? Like, that's important to me. Like, how much time do y'all get off?
Oh man.
in between the academic school years, there would be um, two 2.5 months of break.
So you get off 2 months for summertime, and then it breaks up in between, like the school year. Like we get a spring break, which is 1 week, but usually you guys get 2 weeks for spring break, or no?
We don't really have a spring break. I would say we don't really have that. I think that would be the summer break.
So when does your summer break start then?
I just saw Brisette's face.
I know.
She was like, no spring break.
No spring break. No nothing. Okay, so let me give you an example. All right. So this is how our school year starts. So we start in August, and we get a September break. So they get a week off in September, and then they go to school for about 6 more weeks, and then they get a week off for Thanksgiving. So we get that week off. Then they go to school until Christmas, and then they get 2 weeks off for Christmas. Then after that, some schools here get a week off in February. The boys only get like 3 days off, but some of the schools here, they do a week for winter break. And then after that, they go all the way until April. And then in April, they get spring break.
Spring break, yeah.
And then after spring break, they go all the way until, their summer break, which again is in the end of May, the last week of May. So what does your school year look like as far as breaks? Because you're scaring me. Y'all already go to school until 5 o'clock at night.
Actually, let me double check that.
Because you've been out of school for some time. That's the
Yeah.
whole point. Yeah. So
Yes, and they've had like a few changes since I was out of school, because they sort of adjusted it a few years ago to what most countries' schedule is like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, we didn't have like junior high school and senior high school not until like just a few years ago. And then we also changed like the whole academic calendar.
really?
So what was it, like just one school then?
So it would be so I was one of the batches that didn't get to have junior and senior high school. So it's basically like 6 years and until sixth grade, right? And then you get high school.
Oh, wow. So, wow.
So it was just like elementary, high school?
Yeah.
So it's 6 years in elementary, and then I had 4 years of high school. So it's sixth grade, and then that's first year of high school, and then 4.
So yeah, what grade do y'all get out? Wait. I'm like,
You
wait
see
a
her
minute.
face, right? Because
Hold
she was
up.
like, wait. So there was no 7 and 8. It was just like 6, and then you go to high school. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, and then you're done with school? And then college?
Yeah, so you go to college around 17, 16. As early as 16, you can get to college.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Oh, so Chase is behind then. Like,
Well, no. But she said that changed, though.
Yeah, but they changed it.
That's nice.
Yes, because the thing with that is we, we're kind of left behind for like a couple of years academically, especially if you're going to be, let's say if someone's trying to move schools to another country, or if they want to work in another country. So they would think, oh, this isn't enough academic years. So that's why they changed it.
That's pretty cool for the people who didn't, where, they got that experience, but now it's changed to meet like how we are. Wow, that's crazy. So now it goes from, what grade does elementary go to? So kindergarten to what?
It's still like first grade. Like, of course, like you start with preschool, kindergarten, and then first grade to sixth grade, and then high school starts, and then and then there's grade 7th grade now, 8th grade,
Okay.
up to 10th now, and then there's junior and senior high. So it's pretty much aligned with other countries now, I think.
Gotcha.
And
that
you
makes
switch
sense.
schools now. So do you switch schools? Like, so here they go to one school for elementary, then one school for junior, and then one school for high school. Is it the same for you guys?
For most people, if the school offers up until junior to senior high, then students can opt to do that, but you have the option to change schools depending on, some of the people I know did that.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Wow.
yeah.
What's expensive over there? Like, as far as technology is expensive, or, getting computers and stuff like that. Is that more expensive for you guys? Like,
Probably more like import. I could say more, electronic imports and such like that.
I wouldn't say there's a significant difference in terms of the pricing, the retail pricing of technology, but it's just expensive for us in a way relative to the typical Filipino wage.
Mm-hmm.
So
gotcha.
I would say that
Okay.
it boils down to perspective, I guess. But in terms of like retail price, it's pretty much the same. It's just a small percentage of markup, I would say, for like import fees and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay, Danny, I appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you so much for answering my crazy questions.
Yeah, I know, and answered all Brizette's crazy questions.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. I just like to know, like,
she
what
does.
it's like to live somewhere else and what the experience is like for you guys. It's so different than, our experience. So
Yeah.
here they, ready to drive a car at 16 and,
15.
15,
Yeah.
they're getting their learner permit, and then 16, they're ready to drive a car. And so it's,
It's different.
it's different.
Yeah.
Sweet 16s and all that other stuff. So it's, I like to know what it's like for you guys over there,
Of course, I'm happy to give you guys a little bit more insight of what's like life over here. We're literally on different sides of the world.
I know.
So,
I know.
It brings a whole lot of new perspective for everyone.
Oh my goodness. Well, you've given
know,
us
yeah,
so
Dan-
many gems, and we
Yes.
really appreciate like your time and you just answering all our crazy questions, because I know we had some that we were just like throwing at you, but I really appreciate it because it gives us and our viewers a better understanding of what it's like from a local there. It's everything to like see, people going over there and visiting and, but to know the ins and outs of like a daily life and routine from someone who lives there.
Yeah.
It's a lot more valuable.
It's so much more than just seeing it on like TikToks. Like, these are the reasons why I moved to the Philippines, and it's like the high points. Like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
They gotta be more. So we really appreciate you coming on and explaining to us. Now, the thing is, we do want to shout you out. So please, right now, take the time now to let everybody know where they can find your Desk Space Instagram and also on TikTok, because I know you're on both. So go ahead and shout it out.
Well, I do make content about like desk inspiration if you're into that, or especially if you work from home just like me. So you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's Lois Space. So again, just Lois Space.
Cool.
Well, we appreciate you, Danny. Thank you so much. And thank you guys so much for jumping in and enjoying this conversation on the Point Like Let's Chat podcast. Make sure you share this with someone that you guys know that may be interested in moving to the Philippines or visiting the Philippines.
Yes, because we're definitely putting it on our list.
Yes,
so.
yes, especially Cebu, because you let us know.
And we saw some beaches there, so we were like, oh yeah, those are nice. So.
That's what we're going to do.
But thanks again. We truly appreciate you. So until next time.
Change will make it better.